Welcome to a new webinar with Seibert Media. I have a guest, this is Daniel. Hi, Daniel.
Hi, Martin.
You're the product owner of our Linchpin Mobile team.
Yeah, that's right. I'm with Seibert Media for like 1.5 years now, and I'm.
And you started right with the app when you came, right?
Yeah, it was my first product. It is until today my only product, and I love it like the first day.
Oh, that's nice. So we are obviously talking about mobile today. Linchpin is a Confluence-based intranet solution, if you didn't know that. So Atlassian Confluence is a knowledge management software, pretty advanced, pretty successful. Multiple millions of daily users use it. And Seibert Media has created a mobile app for the server version.
As well as data center.
And we're going to introduce you to this solution today. We will mostly assume that you know what Linchpin is, which may not be true for a couple of you. That's why I'm trying to give you some context for this. So basically, Linchpin is a suite of 15 add-ons or apps, as they are called on the marketplace, that you can get from the Atlassian marketplace to enhance your knowledge management software Confluence to a fully fledged intranet that can be used in smaller and especially in larger organizations. It's fully personalized. Every content on the dashboard, but everywhere throughout Confluence can be personalized based on 3 dimensions that you can choose from freely. It could be the language, the country, the department, the time that someone is on with the company, or any other sort of profile fields that you can think of. It comes with bespoke profile fields. We will see that. We'll see all the news. Top-down communication is part of it. Bottom-up communication is part of it. Yeah, let's assume you know all this. Otherwise, at www.linchpin-intranet.com, you can check out our website and all the features, and there's a 6-minute video to get an overview. Let's talk a little bit about mobile. Why on earth do I need it all? What are the use cases?
Yeah, I think mobile is, especially today, I mean, almost everybody has a smartphone or a tablet or some kind of mobile device that he or she is checking various information on the internet. And yeah, most probably you also have apps for like anything you do. You have a Facebook app, you have a Twitter app, you have weather apps and whatnot. And for us, it was, why not make a Linchpin app? And we had some, yeah, like a great chance given to us by Atlassian, since they did not introduce a Confluence server
until
app.
Recently, right?
Until recently, yeah.
I would say that it would be nice if we would have had a situation where we said, oh, everyone has an app, everyone has a smartphone, why not create a mobile app? Actually, customers were forcing us to do that.
Yeah,
Atlassian wouldn't do it. There is a mobile app for server from Atlassian today. And we should look into that later as well, especially as their price point is 0. So if you have a valid license of Confluence, you can use that. Still, we do see quite some traction and demand from our customers for this solution, and that's also why we're doing this webinar for you. So, okay, what are the concrete use cases that you see our customers or envision our customers to do?
What we hear a lot from the product team is that the customer does not have, I mean, the customer is using Linchpin, as you just described it, with the news, with the microblog and whatnot, but not every employee is having access to this intranet solution because of, and this was, for me, at first, it was a very surprising reason. Not every employee has an email account, has access to a desktop PC, and thus does not have an intranet account as well. And our customers ask, we have like big production facilities with thousands of employees, and they do not have access to the intranet. And what can we do to make them get information, like news, for example? simple use cases in the first place.
And there's one of the first use cases where Linchpin is a solution that Atlassian Confluence is not. We can travel behind the firewall with our smartphones. There's a gateway server, a VPN connection built in, so that you can host your server securely behind the firewall. And then we have a gateway server that the smartphones connect to. And only this gateway server will have a secured connection with your behind the firewall server.
This gateway solution has also the advantage that your employees who do not have an email account yet and do not have access to any of your internal systems do not need an email account to use the Linchpin mobile app with Confluence or the Linchpin system.
So the prerequisite is a Confluence user, right?
Yeah, basically that's it.
And a smartphone with the camera where you can scan a QR code.
Yeah, you can put some managed devices into the system, so you can push the app to managed devices, or you can like introduce a bring your own device strategy for the employees who do not have access yet. And they can just download the Linchpin app or even a branded app that fits your corporate identity from the official App Store or Google Play Store.
Branded app means that if I am Apple, I could have an Apple intranet app on the Apple App Store. Or the Google Play Store.
This would be the case.
Better is the Google Play Store for those of your Apple employees who do not have iPhones or iPads.
The big majority,
I don't know whether. I think the market share for Android is 80% or beyond that already.
I'm not quite sure in the business context. It might be a bit less. That's what we learned over the last few months.
At least in our population of customers,
Yeah.
And when Daniel said before, this is not a Linchpin-only solution, although it's called Linchpin Mobile. So a plain Confluence will work with Linchpin Mobile. There'll just be some apps that are not available because you only have a plain Confluence.
Yeah, you can use Linchpin Mobile with all Confluence versions, 5.10, I guess, or newer. I think 5.10 just reached end of life, so it's working with 5.10 as well. So you can use it with the blank Confluence, or even if you do have some of our Linchpin apps, like you're only using the microblog for whatever reason in your company, you can also use Linchpin Mobile, and Linchpin Mobile makes the microblog only available to your employees, and of course the basic Confluence features that it comes with.
Okay, let's wrap this up. Linchpin Mobile is an app on the marketplace that people can download. It is working with other Linchpin apps. Everyone who has Atlassian Confluence Server can use it, or Data Center. You can download the app directly from the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store. It's like iOS and Android is the operating systems that we support at this point. And this, I think we'll show that it's also possible if you don't even have a Confluence, you can try the app. And anything else?
We can have a look at that.
Pricing is public, like with Atlassian, and then
we can have a look at the pricing right away. The pricing is you can find the
you can have the links to the App Store.
What you see here on the right side is our iPhone that we have right here. This device.
He's holding it in the camera.
This device, and it's connected via cable to our laptop, and we can see what's on the iPhone display here on the right side, and you can see that this is the Linchpin mobile app already. On the left side, I opened the Linchpin mobile landing page in our knowledge base, and you can just go there to get all information on Linchpin mobile.
Documentation, tutorials, features.
www.seibert.biz/Linchpin mobile.
Yeah, it's down here.
Yeah. You can just visit this homepage. I think we'll put it in the description
in the show notes of this video.
And there you can find all information, also the pricing, of course. And we can have a quick look at that. We have initial purchase pricing, which comes with 12 months of support, and it starts at $10 for the 10-user license, and yeah, we have pricing for up to unlimited users, and I think that's a very fair pricing given yeah, the features.
Let's see what we can do. Let's focus on what we can actually do.
Right. We do have our Linchpin demo instance on the left side. That is, yeah.
So this is a Confluence with a couple of plugins. So if your Confluence looks differently, that may be because you're not using Linchpin at this point. It doesn't mean that what we're presenting is not compatible, but it may show you that there's some options to improve.
Yeah. You can log into our demonstration instance via demonstration.linchpin-intranet.com and just try it out for yourself. You can cannot basically break the system because it's resetted every day, so we can just try out things. And we will now log into that exact demo instance via Linchpin Mobile. And you can see on the right-hand side, there's a button, test without login. And I'm going to tap.
Could we go back to the App Store and show?
Oh, sure.
Find it there.
Sure.
So the very first thing would be on the iPhone, you'd go to the App Store, you'd search for example, Seibert Media or Linchpin Mobile, and then you'll find the app.
Linchpin. Right. There's the Linchpin Mobile app on the App Store, and also the Seibert Media app to give you an impression of what a app branded for your company might look like. We put this up as a little experiment.
And branding for the app is an optional offering, right?
Yeah.
So you can have some basic information about your company. You can have your logo, your colors,
some text labels and colors. Yeah.
And that's also interesting if you want to have special features like legacy systems in your company. That may also be a good starting point to think about a custom app. But
yeah, it's especially interesting when you compare the Confluence Server app and Linchpin Mobile side by side. So even the largest company will never have a Confluence app branded for their corporate design.
Yeah, because
Atlassian doesn't offer that. Yeah. And that's a bit special in the app context, in the app ecosystem. So yeah, what we offer here is a fully customized app for any customer. Yeah, I already downloaded Linchpin Mobile and the Seibert Media app as well. So
there's only the open app. Let's open that.
And yeah, this is Linchpin Mobile. What you will see when you download the app freshly from the App Store. And as I just said, there's a login button and also test without login. And this test without login leads you to our demo instance that we can see here on the left-hand side as displayed in the web browser on a desktop PC. And we can now choose between Theo Schröder, who's a German-speaking user, who's head of IT in Frankfurt, or we can choose Petra Winter, who's an American user or English-speaking user, and she's recruiting manager from Washington.
Which also shows that the system is designed to serve large populations that speak different languages, have different needs. So even if you only speak English, you may want to try out to log in as Theo, and then you'll find that he sees a completely different set of contents in the app.
Yeah. Also interesting at this point, since we're having an English webinar here, we have set the device language to English, so we have all the text labels and everything in English. If I were Theo Schröder as a German-speaking user, I would have my device set to German, and all the app content would automatically be delivered in German.
Which is, by the way, also a difference between the Atlassian app and our app.
Right.
So they only support English. We do have English and German and some other languages planned with partners and customers. So that's also a differentiation. Let's choose Petra.
Okay, Petra Winter. Here you can enter your email address if you want to stay in contact, get some information on the product, or just want to get in touch with the Linchpin Mobile development team. You can enter your email address, and we'll get back to you right away. I'll skip this at this point. And now we're already in the system. As you can see, we have the news overview in our app. And also we have the news on the left-hand side in the Linchpin Mobile web view, in the Linchpin web view. And we can switch between corporate news and personal news in the app. Corporate news is more like what you just said, Martin, the top-down communication from the management to all employees, or corporate communications in some cases as well. And personal is a fully personalized news feed for me, in this case, Petra Winter. And it might look different for every employee, based on what topics I add, or which channels I choose that are interesting for me in some way. And you can see the news are matching. So everything that I add on my to my personal news in the desktop version gets automatically synced with Linchpin Mobile and back. I can in the app I can just tap a news article and get to the detail view where it's loading all the content. I can do the same in the web, and I have to wait a very little while. So okay, so I have all the content here on my desktop and also in the mobile app, so I can read news articles on the go, and also, and this is quite nice, I can scroll down to the comment section and interact with my colleagues or the author of a news article, like corporate communications or even the management. For quick actions, I can press like, which just symbolizes that I've read the article and I, to some point, agree with the content. And if I reload the web page, we can see that I like this article in the app, and it gets synced instantly to my Confluence system and also to the web.
And this is also true for comments and everything else that I do in the system. If I we'll see a couple more.
Yeah, we can just post a comment here to show how this works. I can just say, I like this. I mean, when pressing like is not enough, I can just express it here. And I can mention my colleague, Theo Schröder, who's in Frankfurt. And I want him to read this maybe as well. So I just leave him a mention here. And I send it. And there's my comment in the app. And also there's my comment on the web. And we cannot show it right now, but Theo Schröder is being notified about my comment. He gets the email notification that Confluence sends out for a new mention, and it's all working seamlessly, like we know from the desktop version.
Okay, that's news. So news that the company wants to show to me, news that I can subscribe to, top-down, bottom-up communication. To be a little bit into detail here, you can define different streams for mobile and for the web, because on the web, you have those tiles, and you can define how many tiles from which channel should be shown where. And on the mobile version, we only have a long stream of more standardized news, and we'll sort by the news comes top. So there may be some differences between top-down and communication on mobile and on the web. But I think this is really a detail that is also due to the viewport and its size.
We made this kind of on purpose also, because there are news in a company that are, I mean, they might be important, but not that important that every employee everywhere over the world at every time has to read them. So we have a new feature coming up, push notifications for important news, and we don't want the users to get spammed with push notifications and email notifications that are sent out by Confluence for maybe a user mention or new comments or whatnot. And so you can define separate mobile news categories, or via the Linchpin Enterprise News, as the plugin is called, and you can very specifically
tell who should be pushed
for what news.
Okay, let's go further and look a little bit about other use cases. Microblogs next.
Microblog is a Linchpin plugin that's meant for. Oh yeah, we can open it up. It's in the bottom line. right here. That's meant for communication in teams, in project groups.
With customers.
With customers, right? We use this.
So threaded discussions, everything that a lot of people do in email, that should go into the microblog. It's a secure room to have threaded and persistent discussions.
And the microblog is, unlike news, microblog is, also on the desktop version, it's more like a timeline. So we just adapted that to the mobile app. And you can see this is identical. We have all the news, the microblog posts that we have in the desktop version. We also have on mobile. And also, like with this post, there's an answer to that, a reply. I just open it up on the mobile phone, and here's my conversation. So I can browse all the microblog topics that I added or that I am that I might see based on the configuration. I can also access on the mobile app and.
Can I post something? So
yeah, you can.
There's the blue button. We can click that. Daniel and I on air. Oh, I should give it an ad mention, but you are not in the system, right?
I don't think I'm a demo instance.
I'll allow the camera access. Oh, that's, by the way, our setting here. But we want this.
Very professional setting.
Okay, that's our picture.
Awesome.
And now I want to create this. And that's also a difference to the Conference mobile app. We can upload pictures and
let's just refresh the browser version and see if the picture's already there. All right, looks like it worked.
And that's us in real life.
So, but it's no problem because the instance is being reset every day. So by tomorrow it will be gone.
The ugly picture won't last long.
There's no evidence, except the video.
Except the video. Yeah. Okay, microblogging. So whenever you have, so for example, there's a Facebook Workplace. That's probably the king of this specific microblogging use case. Facebook is probably one of the most heavily used websites on Earth, and they do have an enterprise offering, and that is doing exactly that. So I would say they probably do it much better than we do. The cool thing that I see with Linchpin Mobile and with Linchpin is we're doing a good enough job to have a profound and lively discussion in companies, in secure rooms, and it's fully integrated into a holistic intranet, while Facebook Workplace will always be kind of a communication satellite somewhere out there that you will always have to connect deeply into other stuff. You'll always have to make your own calls and find out what's the best solution for you. We have learned with our customers that a lot of those prefer this tightly integrated experience over the multiple satellites. Still, if you didn't have Linchpin Mobile, because you're using another app, just the icon wouldn't appear on the smartphone, right?
That's right. Speaking of calls, you just said, there's the next section in the app that's contacts, and this is based on Linchpin user profiles, which basically extends the basic conference profile.
Yeah, we should show this here. So the basic feature is that you can have buddies. You can tag them and say, this is the guy that I'm playing sports with, and this is my team member for the SAP project. And so that's,
I don't think that worked.
No, that didn't work. Whatever. You can search for people. You can filter them by the language they speak, by the location they're in, maybe search somewhere in Frankfurt, and other skills that they have added to their own profile. And the very same thing is working on the right-hand side on mobile, so you can also search. You can have your buddies. So we could also search for Jira or whatever. Find this in list. We could tab people, look at the profiles, call them to
directly from within the app. Yeah.
We could call them. We could instant message them. We could email them and see who's their superior.
Oh yeah, we don't have an email account set up. So yeah, this is very valuable for, I think, larger companies with a big corporate
I would say
directory.
If you have more than 100 people, you'll probably also already benefit from a central phone book. We do see some companies who at least have the phone numbers available to the employees. This solution will give your employees a full range of all contacts of all employees that they may access. So it's a pretty interesting and helpful feature. Also to get to know people, or if you're talking about people that you're working with and someone doesn't recognize the guy or the girl, then you can pull up the profile and say, look, that's how it looks. Ah, yeah, now I know.
Also, you do not have to take care of updating profile information and phone numbers, because everybody can just put all information on their Confluence profile.
Yeah.
And if anything
that's
changes,
kind of a basic Confluence feature in Linchpin profiles, that both employees can upload pictures, can fill out their profiles, and the company can sync the Confluence profiles with your Active Directory, with LDAP systems. We have importers for SAP and other legacy systems, so that you can have really rich profiles that everyone can access. Okay, next.
Let's see, pages. This is basically Confluence within Linchpin Mobile. And yeah, we can see on this dashboard kind of page here, we have the search, which reflects the Confluence search that we do have here. We do have a saved for later overview, all my last 3 visited pages, my 3 favorite pages, sorry. This is, what I do have in my profile, or also on the right-hand side here. And also I have recently viewed, so I'm probably working on my desktop PC in the office. I need to leave, but I was just reading a page or a news article that I couldn't finish, and I'm on the bus and I want to continue where I left off. So I just visit my recently visited pages, and it's right on top of the list, and I can continue reading where I stopped.
Oh, stay there. There's a couple of things that we could show. So one is you could favorite blog articles. You can watch them with this eye, or unwatch them. You can share them. That's something that I'm using a lot, like copying a link and just putting it somewhere else, or look, you read this. That's very handy. And you can also look at the hierarchy. So where is this article in? So that's not very helpful because it's a blog post.
It's not available for blog posts.
So let's search for company goals. Oh, sorry, just randomly hit something. Let's see whether this is well. Yeah, this does have a hierarchy. So nothing is staged in here. All randomly selected. Okay, so
I think it was searching for corporate goals.
Yeah, however. So let's take this for pages and blog posts. And what we didn't show spaces, maybe we want to do this as well.
We should.
There's another, and then I'll wrap
You
it up.
might know the space directory from your Confluence. Your Confluence is organized in spaces. Like one for HR, one for IT, maybe location-based. And you can access the space directory from within the app as well. You have a full list of all your spaces in your Confluence instance. And you can also search for spaces like Yeah, I just did what you just did, like corporate news or something, like Berlin.
Yeah, and then come to
I
the
think we're a bit
dashboard.
too overexcited here, so just so here we are. And you are on the Space homepage. You can browse the content, which is basically just blog post links and a cover stories macro that we cannot display within the app, but that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
So let's go
And
back.
let me wrap that up. So if you have content on Confluence, and if you're watching this until this point, you do have Confluence content in your company, then this is kind of a core feature. So wherever your employees are, no matter how secure your Confluence is behind a firewall, we can make it possible that they can securely get this information on their smartphone wherever they are. Be it in India, in the outback, or be it on a train, or on the airport waiting for something. We're even working on offline capabilities, right?
Yeah.
I've seen a prototype that was pretty promising, so that people can download, or the app automatically downloads some content. So if one of our bigger customers is repairing water pipes, and so let's assume you're down under the earth and trying to repair a pipe, and you need some document that you have seen on the wiki earlier, and then you can pull it up on the app, although you don't have any web connection.
Yeah.
That's on the roadmap, at least. The cool thing is that you can really travel with your knowledge now, and this is something that is not available on all these hip Facebook Workplace and all those like satellite communication things. We can't go live yet, so that everyone has his advantages. Pages. It's really versatile, and it also needs us to be honest with you. There are 900 apps out there that will
on the Atlassian Marketplace.
On the Atlassian Marketplace, and then there are like multitudes of custom-made apps that we don't know of. But on the Atlassian Marketplace, publicly available, there are a lot of hundreds of really cool enhancements for Confluence. If you don't know them, you may want to look at the Atlassian Marketplace. It's really what makes Confluence so powerful. And they all come with macros. And those macros will enhance Confluence with diagrams, for example, like draw.io, or with profiles, like the Linchpin profile plugin that we've seen. And all of these macros need to be rendered correctly on the app. And this is not the case while we're recording that. We have two handful, I would say, of macros that we have quality checked and that we have implemented so that they display nicely and correctly. And then there's a lot of other macros that are on the backlog, right?
There are about, I guess, like 10,000 macros that we do not support yet. But I mean, it's
they will be shown. And sometimes they are ugly, but they still serve the case. If you have a draw.io diagram, it will necessarily render. You can click on it, you can zoom in and out. And
it's basically an image then.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have a list based on our experience with our existing customers, and they helped us prioritizing the macros. And we are now supporting, as you just said, maybe a dozen of the most basic Confluence macros, like tables, like status macro, Jira issue macro, and stuff. And we're enhancing this list with almost every new feature update. So we are releasing a new version of Linchpin Mobile like every 2 weeks. We are working Scrum methodology, and we have 2-week sprints. So we try to release a new version every 2 weeks. And we are slowly enhancing the possibilities that Linchpin Mobile gives you with working with Mark.
Which is also a big upside in comparison to the Atlassian Confluence mobile app, because it only renders a certain there's a certain option for macro creators to inject an image instead of their macro, and that's kind of it. So we can do the same, but a lot of macros cannot be represented by an image itself. It needs more. It needs some interaction. Like, let's assume you want to fill out a survey or a form, or so some sort of interaction. That's something that only Linchpin Mobile can give you. At this point, at least. Maybe Atlassian will enhance their solution as well. Yeah, that's Pages. But there's one last tab that we can click.
Yeah, this is basically our main menu in the app. You have some information about who you are, but I mean, you should know that. This just gives you you know that you are logged in with the right user account. I mean,
yeah, and you can switch the system, right? And also maybe we can show the lunch thing on our app.
Yeah, sure. Let's switch to the Seibert Media app here, and I need to go to our internal wiki for that.
He's not authorized. That's actually quite interesting, because
I mean, we can show that.
Yeah,
I mean, this would be the ultimate proof if our login.
The system is behind the firewall.
Is secure.
So how about you pull up your profile, then I show the page.
So let's give this a second. Okay, here we are.
Okay.
On the left-hand side, you see our internal wiki, based on Confluence, of course, Linchpin. And
it should say mobile access, but as we are speaking German on a day-to-day basis.
I just went to my profile here, and I have this tab like mobiler Zugang in German, that's mobile access in English. I click it, and down here, there's a lot of text. And then I have this button. This says basically generate QR code. And if I click here, I can generate a QR code that I can use in the app for login. And
hold on. And this is a quite secure process, because even as we have this QR code on the video, it'll only work one time. It'll so you could be pretty quick, actually.
If you are watching this and you just try to scan my QR code and you are logged in, please tell me, because we need to fix that. But
no. We'll find out whether you've been quicker than we are. So let's scan the QR code. So it's a little bit more difficult.
Let's just show the process. I'm in the app, and there's this scan QR code button on top right. I tap it, then I get an explanation here. That's basically what I just
So you actually know what you should be doing.
I allow the camera access, and this is, again, this is live. So I'm scanning this QR code. And basically, what you just saw, that loading icon, this was the whole login process. I am now logged into our internal wiki. It automatically recognizes the instance's name. That's like the Confluence title. And when I say finish, I'm being redirected to the news. And
this is actually our behind the firewall instance.
Yeah, you can. Oh no, I cannot show that, I think. But
however, this is like the option to log in with a phone that is on the public internet to a device that is behind the firewall through a secure gateway server. If you want to know more about that, we will most likely not cover this in this webinar, but we can explain to you and your security guys in your company why this is even better than a mobile device management solution like AirWatch, TuneIn, Mobile Iron.
Microsoft TuneIn.
Mobile Iron, and there's a lot out there that have created quite some trouble, to be honest, with our development team. Some companies do actually use those mobile device management solutions. We highly recommend to use the gateway server, also because it's much cheaper and much easier to integrate those people that you can't integrate today. Everyone who doesn't have a desktop computer, bus drivers, pilots, nurses, stewardesses, everyone who's walking, traveling, mobile, could be part of the target group.
So we wanted to show our lunch registration.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I'm still here on the news section, and I'll go to more, like the menu we just saw on Linchpin Mobile. And
there's a new button.
Yeah. Okay. First, this is me. That's good, because I want to order lunch for myself. And then you can see here, order lunch. This is something I can just show it. We do not have on our demonstration instance. we just have saved for later and recently viewed. And this is not because this is the Seibert Media app. This is because our conference system is providing this feature. So if you log in via the Seibert Media to your system, you probably might not see this as well. But what we are showing now is that you can, like,
have a custom legacy app within this app. So if you want to do a little more than Confluence, Linchpin Mobile can do it.
We are using our own developed app, like what is it called, Social Lunch, I guess, to register for lunch at Seibert Media. And if I tap it, you can see that today is Monday, and we had some salmon today, or some broccoli pasta, and unfortunately everything is closed already. The registration is closed.
It's the afternoon today,
so I missed it. Too bad. But tomorrow there's some Thai.
You have Thai food.
You see, I
already
pre-registered it, so I get this little check mark here. But let's say I'm not coming into the office tomorrow because I'm too exhausted from the webinar, so I have to stay in bed. And I just unregistered from the lunch. Yeah, so by just tapping, I registered for this lunch.
Pretty simple. Basically, what we allow is custom apps within Linchpin Mobile. Contact us if this is a use case for you. We do offer personalized presentations. So if you're interested in Linchpin Mobile, you can get a demo from Daniel or one of our consultants. You can download it for free on the Lesson Marketplace and try it out. You can try out the mobile app even without having Confluence and use the test without login option. What else? You can see the pricing, it's public. Yeah. You can contact one of our local Linchpin partners. So we have Linchpin partners worldwide. We're in Germany, but there are partners in the US and in UK and basically all countries in the world have Atlassian partners. They can help you with that.
What's very interesting for us as a development team, if you watch this webinar or probably already are trying out Linchpin Mobile for yourself, and you say, wow, this is basically a very cool product, but there's one thing missing for my company that we can use it, just give us a call, or you can visit
the roadmap.
Our roadmap, and you can check.
Almost forget about the roadmap.
Probably you can find the product roadmap button also on the Linchpin Mobile landing page. And we're using a Trello board for that. This comes as an iframe, but I like the full version way better. And you can see here, we have a couple of topics that we still need feedback from our customers, or like evaluation people from. We have some topics that we need funding for, probably sponsor development topics that we would not tackle that soon on our own. We have some information for you what we're currently working on. This is the in progress column, and we have next topics, so you can get some information on if the feature that you are currently missing is coming to Linchpin Mobile soon, or rather not.
And what we will also want you to do is to comment on those cards, to vote on them, so that we get more feedback on what we need to implement into Linchpin Mobile. That would be the point where I say thank you, Daniel, for presenting that for us. Is there anything else like the roadmap left that we want to tackle?
I'm just thinking, but I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
If you find something else, put a comment down there. If you like the video, you can give us a thumbs up so that we know that. You can subscribe to our channel, and you can always contact us and get into direct contact or contact one of our partners. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.